Appreciate everybody sticking around. Wouldn't say last but not least, we've got our next presenter here. The polls are down, so let me add Matthew to the screen.
Hey guys,
here. There
What's
he is.
up, Matthew Fisch from FortMesa?
Okay, we're all almost at the finish line here, right? I'm last, and in 8 minutes we can all get lunch.
There you go.
Yeah, you better close out strong, Matthew.
All right, no pressure. You're up.
Good luck, dude.
All right, guys. I'm Matt Fisch, founder of FortMesa. I want to tell you about FortMesa for service providers. We're going to help you own your client's cybersecurity roadmap. And you know, if you want to capture your customers' cyber investments, this is really important because they're under pressure. They're trying to buy cyber insurance. They're trying to satisfy government regulations that seem to change every week. And they're trying to look good on third-party due diligence surveys. And this is why, according to ConnectWise, 42% of small businesses are looking to change their service providers in the near future. And they're willing to pay an average of 39% more for the right cybersecurity. So what does right mean? Right is driven by the experts in individual industries. Small businesses are being told by those trusted experts that they need to comply with a regional standard or a vertical standard. So how does a service provider win? They win when they can inform the customer using the language of compliance that the customer already knows. And they can tell that customer what security they need based on what they have. You know, they have this and they need to get to that. And when they use their existing people to perform left of boom security tasks, they can create net new recurring revenue. You know, cyber upsells, they sit alongside other upsells. They complement a core IT service package. And when their customers invest more in cybersecurity, it actually reduces incidents, and that makes the core IT service more profitable. So what does FortMesa do for you? Our GRC platform scans for vulnerabilities missed by your patch management systems. And we use exploit prediction to help you create a service level agreement that your customers will pay more for. We use gap analysis to help you match your existing products and services to the compliance outcomes that your customers are looking for. And we help you set those security goals to get to those compliance goals. We help you implement security changes over time to get there, and we help you create audit-ready, high-grade evidence along the way. So FortMesa's governance, risk, and compliance platform is built for MSPs. It works with your PSA. We use private labeling to support your brand, and we put your services front and center on the security roadmap. And of course, we work with a lot of the products you already use today. So what makes FortMesa different? Our product was built to be used by L2 MSP engineers, not security experts. And because of that, we built a security success process. It'll help you map your practices, your solutions to compliance outcomes. We also support you in joint go-to-market. We've got marketing campaign collateral you can use to sell cybersecurity, and we'll even support you in partner co-selling. Now, all of this is why CompTIA chose FortMesa to back their cybersecurity trustmark program. This new security standard certifies the security level of an MSP. And they've got almost 1,000 solution providers either in process or on a waiting list. So we're going to be working with many of you soon. But if you want to work with your end customers and you want to work with us directly, you can buy FortMesa with per client subscriptions, and you only have to pay for what you use. The sales edition of our product, and that includes the gap analysis you need to match your products and services to the compliance outcomes your customers are looking for, that's free for our partners. And our full GRC suite has a SKU that includes vulnerability management for only $5 per device per month. Or if you've already got vulnerability scanners, you can get our GRC only offering for about $100 per client month. So that's it. FortMesa for service providers. We help you own your client's cybersecurity roadmap. Thanks.
Nice.
There we go. Strong finish.
I mean, we closed off with GRC. Everybody loves GRC. It's an acronym. Everybody loves acronyms in our space.
Yeah. It's hard to avoid these days, though. It's everywhere.
Oh, my Lord. Yes. So good job, Matthew.
Yeah, good work. All right. Thank you.
All right. All right. I'll start. So again, back to the fact that the cybersecurity space has evolved, and it shows you that it's not the Wild West anymore. We've now started to push the governance aspect in general, right? And with that being said, there's so many moving parts in governance, right, and compliance. And it's funny because last year I learned a lot from FortMesa last year, even when I talked about it. So again, back to the fact that as this industry keeps progressing, obviously everything you've known exists in other spaces that are traditional old school ones are now happening. And it's good to see FortMesa and companies like that being on the front end of this and pushing it, because it has to happen.
Yeah, I think we talked about this earlier. I think it was slide 2 slide 2 or 3, where he showed the different frameworks, and it's broken out by industry or by even geography. I think he had blanking on it with Australian, what Australia has to abide by. But I think that the great visual to kind of help the MSP structure quickly where they should be thinking, what they should be thinking. And I really liked not just the validation from CompTIA, but the fact they'll go in and support with co-selling, right? So, supporting, because again, talk about the maturity curve, and been talking about that for years, and there's still this, lagging maturity curve, but, ones that are newer or becoming, just becoming proficient with GRC or, compliance standards in general, and they need that support, and that enablement, that co-selling support is something that, again, great vendors lean into, and some look at it as a COGS, and they look at it as something that's going to, impact negatively their valuations and stuff like that. But end of the day, that's what makes or breaks a lot of vendors.
I couldn't agree more. I love that you mentioned COGS and the make or break of it, because again, you have to put everything you need to for your business to thrive and succeed. Part of it now, the expectation of governance is extremely important now. Yeah. I mean, we watched it happen over years from the compliance standpoint. When HIPAA compliance came out, remember how bad that was? It was so bad they gave them like 3 or 4 years to become HIPAA compliant because they knew how backwards everybody was. And I remember looking at companies like DaVita that does dialysis. They spent almost $1 billion in the last 3 months becoming HIPAA compliant because they had not done it. So right, and they weren't the only ones. There were so many of them that did it, and so now there's a standard expectation. GDPR exists. All these things exist for a reason. These are all governing compliances. So now, welcome to the game. Welcome to the field of cybersecurity, and welcome to everything you have to do that has been going on everywhere else in every industry. And it's not one industry anymore. Cybersecurity is its own industry that lays on top of all industries. So you've got no choice. You've got no choice. So I'm glad to see people are doing it. I'm glad it's being pushed. It's an important topic. And honestly, if you're going for investors or you're going for acquisition, who's going to buy a company that doesn't follow compliances and governances?
Yeah, you're spot on. I think the last thing I'll say is something I appreciated is that, again, spectrums and kind of if you slice the market, based on that maturity model. And I love the fact that they've got kind of that sales edition, that hook to kind of, get them in, get them understanding, how it's almost like incubating the MSP. And then you can convert if you're not using a third-party scanner, you have the ability to turn it on, or you have the ability just to, turn it on per customer and really from a compliance standpoint. So yeah, I think that model, I think it's brilliant. I think the way that they've structured that and give the flexibility to the MSP to come in at whatever level of sophistication, or if there's a gap in, if they don't not using a scanner, I think that flexibility is pretty key. So well done.
Agreed.
Well done to Matt and FortMesa. That was awesome.